In this video, I would like to talk about our textbook chapter 4, the basic tools of finance, particular the first section, present value, measuring the time value of money. Okay, so this part is pretty mathematical, but once you get the idea, actually it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so here, this is a bunch of interest rate from a commercial bank, Wells Fargo. So here, I have a bunch of interest rates associated with saving accounts and CD certified deposit. That's kind of like you want to put in some amount of money, right, for a fixed period of time. And the Wells Fargo is going to promise you a certain interest rate. Okay, depending on your choice. So for example, if you have $1,000 in your pocket right now, and you are thinking about opening a new savings account, it's a platinum savings account, right? So you start with 1,000 US dollars today. So what's the time today? Today is April 17th, 2020, right? So this is today. Okay, and you have, assume you have 1,000 US dollars, right? To put in a new savings account at Wells Fargo. Okay, so this amount of money, so you're about to open a new savings account. So for example, this one, platinum savings, right? This amount of money, of course, you meet the $25 minimum opening deposit. And this amount of money is called present value. For short, PV, present value. So what's present value? The amount of money you have right now, you put in a savings account. This is 1,000 US dollars, right? And why you put your money in a savings account? First, it is convenient for you to storage your money, right? It probably be a fine idea to hide your money underneath a mattress. So first, it is safe to put your money in a savings account at a commercial bank. And the second, you can earn some interest payment, even though the interest rate here in the United States is pretty low. So for example, this one. So it doesn't matter. So for the platinum savings account, right? Interest rate 0.05%. That means if you're for the money deposited in this platinum savings account, right? Each year, Wells Fargo is going to pay you 0.05% interest payment, and that's pretty low. That's pretty low. Okay, so here for basic tools of finance, we have present value. Today, the current present day, right? You are going to open a new savings account. You're about to put in 1,000 US dollars. This amount of money is called the present value, and you are promised the interest rate at the Wells Fargo. So let me use lowercase letter I to represent the interest rate. So what's the interest rate at the Wells Fargo? 0.05%. And that's pretty low, actually. And that's not the worst one. The worst one, this one, 0.01%. That's a basic saving account. Okay, so next, after opening a savings account, right, you have the call to decide how long you're about to leave your money inside that savings account. So the third element is called time or year in this case. So in subsequent analysis, I'm going to use an uppercase letter T to represent year, time. In this case, I use the unit of year instead of month because the interest rate here, right, it's quoted on an annual basis, APR, annual percentage yield. So it's annual. That's why the measurement of time here is year. T short for time. T refers to how many years. Suppose you want to put your money there for how long? Just for 1 year. Right? Okay, so now we have present value. You put in 1,000 US dollars right now, present value. And the interest rate promised by Wells Fargo is 0.05%. And keep in mind, this is interest rate per year. That's why it's called APY, annual percentage yield. And you leave your money there 1 year, right? So given all of this information, we can calculate so-called future value. And in subsequent analysis, I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to use FV to represent the future value. So what's the future value? So today is April 17th, 2020, right? You may be wondering how much money what is your saving account balance will be on April 17th next year, 2021, right? What's your saving account balance? Here, this is a very typical example of future value. How to calculate the future value? We can use all these three information to figure out the future value. So in general, the formula is here. Future value equals what? Equals present value, right? And then multiplies here. Let me insert the multiplication symbol. Future value equals present value multiplies parenthesis 1, this is number 1, plus what? Interest rate, annual interest rate. And raised to the power t. Here is an exponent t, right? But in this case, it's very simple. What's the present value? Here, 1,000 US dollars. Right? And multiplies, we have 1. And what's the interest rate? 0.05%. Raised to the power for how long? You only put here for 1 year, right? Any number raised to the power 1 is equal to back itself, so it doesn't matter. So this is what we have here. So the future value, the 1 year future value for $1,000, you put in your savings account right now at the Wells Fargo with 0.05% annual interest rate equals, let me give some intermediate step. $1,000 multiplies 1 plus what's 0.05%? That is 0.0005. And this is equal to, sorry, it should be 1,000 US dollars. It should be equal to multiplies 1.0005. And you need to use a calculator to figure this out. Okay. So your saving account balance will be $1,000 plus 50 cents. That's the future value for the 1,000 US dollar, which is called the present value, the amount of money you put in your new savings account at Wells Fargo today, right? And with annual interest rate 0.05% for how long? For 1 year. That is 1 year future value for 1,000 US dollars with associated with the annual interest rate 0.05%. Okay, this is the 1 year ahead future value. What if you have decided to roll over another year? That means you will not touch your saving account at Wells Fargo. You just leave this amount of money, right, for 1 more year. So that means you are interested to know what your savings account balance will be on April 17th, the year 2022. So now the question becomes calculating the future value for 2 years ahead. So here, let me recycle some stuff here. So the formula remains the same. Future value equals present value multiplies parenthesis 1 plus interest rate parenthesis raised to the power t, how many years, right? So let me do some plug-in. Now I still have $1,000, right? The money, the present value, the money put in today multiplies here 1 plus 0.05%. But now you put your money there for another year. Let me turn this into a exponent, raised to the power 2, right? And if you are comfortable with math, you can see I can expand this expression as $1,000 multiplies 1 plus 0.05% and multiplies another 1 plus 0.05%. And you can see here, this part, I put in right. This is your present value, right? $1,000 you put in right now, today, on April 17th, 2020. But for the first part, now let me turn it to purple. This component from my previous step, you can see this is the 1 year ahead future value. That means your saving account balance on April 17th, 2021, right, will be this amount of money, which is $1,000 plus 50 cents. Since you are going to roll over for another year, that means you won't touch your saving account. You're going to leave this amount of money for another year. And the bank is going to, of course, pay you another year interest rate. So that's why we have another part, 1 plus 0.05%. This part is related to the second year because you have decided to roll over for another year. And this is equal to, let me recycle what I did previously. $1,000, 50 cents, right? Multiplies this part, which is 1.0005. And what's the answer here? Let me use a calculator. And that is $1,001. So this is what? This is your 2 year ahead future value.